good behavior. Mr. Fosu disclosed this during a press briefing at the Jubilee House yesterday in Accra, May 14. Now, the acting CEO of Gold Board has been cautioned with no further action expected to be meted out to him, he told journalists. I'm quoting him here, he says, in the last few days, there have been some matters relating to the acting chief executive officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Mr. Sammy James, regarding a video that emerged of his interaction with Nana Agrada, self-styled evangelist, former fetish priestess. Now, you would recall that in the immediate aftermath of the incident, Mr. James issued an apology over the matter and took on board public concerns raised over same. Felix Kwatro-Fosu went on to say, you would recall that when President Mahama launched the Code of Conduct, he said that one of the remedies for potential breaches is a public apology. And you recall that we spoke extensively about that Code of Conduct and the tiers of punishments, with apologies being on the lower scale. Felix Kwatro-Fosu goes on to say the following. He also said one of the potential remedies was a caution from the highest level of government. The Chief of Staff cautioned him, having acknowledged the apology and impressed on him to act in ways that reflect public expectation. In view of that, the presidency does not believe that any further action ought to be taken beyond the apology and the caution. I'm sure you'll all have your thoughts on this, so do keep them coming across the board, and you can find us on X, on Facebook, on Instagram. We're so fancy, but it's always better to hear it from the horse's own mouth. We'll do so in due course. Let me say good morning and a warm welcome, Michael Ogbodu. There's no S, but I've added it. Don't be alarmed. 1 juice, Don Ullo.
Did I hear 6 juice?
One also a modification. Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed.
6 juice.
I watch your face. I said, if you want madam.
In fact, I prefer that, sadly, to the original. 1 juice, Don Ullo in the house. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it
My father
up.
was a man of literature.
Sorry.
He searched far and wide to get that name.
Well, I have a message. Is Daddy still alive?
Oh no, Daddy unfortunately passed on to glory.
May his soul rest in peace. When I get to the afterlife, I'll also remind him that when you name your kids certain names, be prepared for the future. Because people will find even a name as common as Helen, very colloquial English, the Helen. I've heard variations I never imagined in my whole existence.
6 juice.
6 juice. Michael Ogbodu, how are we feeling this morning? I love the braces. Has no braces company, suit company gotten in touch with you to be the face of their brand?
Now that you said it, I'm sure they'll come calling.
Okay, we're putting that out there because Michael Ogbodu is our braces man.
This one is it Cantamanto edition or...
you know, right now with what's happening in China, it means that it doesn't matter where it's from.
I'm telling you, something I like that the Chinese did when Trump decided to, really meet them with tariffs. They said, hey.
For where?
Now
Really?
brand name doesn't matter.
Brand name doesn't matter. They're showing us that everything that you Americans love, buy, and cherish, it comes straight from our factories. And your American cohorts will slap some 1 or 2 designs and inflate the price. They said, come to me, baby.
Label.
Just slap one label on it and inflate the price 300 times, 400 times. They said, come to me directly.
One of the TikTok videos said, see these two? They are the same. You pay $1,000 for this, you pay $200 for this. You buy label, $1,000.
They're a force to be reckoned with, the Chinese. They're not playing around at all. At all.
We need that kind of aggression. If there's anything we should learn from the Chinese in terms of productivity, in terms of manufacturing industry, it is that kind of aggression that everybody is looking down on you, but you are focused and you know where you want to get to. See, when they started with their movies, I mean, we used to sneak out of our houses to go to the cinema to go and watch Chinese movie because there's a certain advertised Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or the other grandmaster, what's the name again?
Jet Li.
And Jet Li. You know, and you just can't. We started our own very well. Chewa part 20. We laughed at the part 20, then the producer said they're not going to do it again. It's that kind of tenacity that you see with Chinese industry that we as a people should learn. If there are any lessons at all we can learn from them. The other day I saw on Facebook, was it Fufu or they are doing some of the local typical Ghanaian stuff.
There is nothing that the Chinese don't do. So I went into our makeup room recently to get my makeup done. And so for the ladies, you know this, the blush palette, eyeshadow, everything. And I opened one up, and each color had a corresponding name. Amina, something, Safwa, very beautifully done with some kind of Egyptian queen on the front. So an African theme, if you will, although the countries didn't seem to correspond. Egypt, but in any case, I said, I was telling the makeup ladies, this is really nice. Which Ghanaian or, put this together with? And they said, this is straight from China.
Straight.
Imagine.
With the Ama, Asantua eyeshadow palettes. There is nothing that they do not do. Are they not growing their own cocoa?
But I suspect
yes, they
are growing their own cocoa.
They have.
It's a cocoa story I wanted to tell.
They are growing their own cocoa. So very soon, you will go there to go and collect their cocoa if we don't check what is going on the home front.
Lab grown.
Lab grown.
They've done the lab. They've gone beyond that actually. They're actually now growing it proper.
Really?
They figured a way around it, you know. And this was like about 3-4 years ago.
And you are here with the arable land, with the rich soil. You don't have to go to any lab or invest in any infrastructure sophisticated to get you. It's here. You have decided to give yours out for miners to come plunder, pollute, destroy your environment, kill your children, deform your children, take it away, and then you are here.
So
clap for yourself, African leaders. Clap for yourself.
Let me add to the applause.
Please do.
The Chinaman leaves his country, comes to your country, take your cocoa land, destabilize it, degrade it, and carry your cocoa pod back to his country to go and plant it in his country. And then he will harvest and bring the cocoa.
In fact, you harvest, you add value, make chocolate, you buy it, eat it, use it for celebrations. Oh. Wow. I remember when, maybe a few years ago, maybe 2 or so, when this issue of galamsey was really overboiling. And the Chinese embassy, I suppose, had taken notice of all that we were saying, as a people. And they issued a communique. I don't know if they had been formally, approached in any way. But they said, listen, we have our rules. You have our rules.
In the heat of the Aisha 1 controversy.
In the heat of the Aisha 1 controversy, that's right. They said, we have our rules, you have your rules. We have our laws, you have your laws. If any of our nationals come to your country and misbehave, you have your rules. You ensure that when you come to our country and you misbehave, we also have our rules, ways and means to deal with you. And I thought,
the part of that statement that should have awoken us a long time ago was when they said that the Chinaman doesn't know where your gold is.
At all.
Doesn't know where your forests are.
Doesn't know where Abreweni and crying. Baby, how does he know?
So you are the same people taking them into those places and allowing them to do. And the fishing industry, Mike, this thing, you should know this. The fishing industry has faced the same challenges.
I see.
When they banned, was it petroleum?
Yeah.
You see, there was a time that the fish stock was depleting at an alarming rate. And it was realized that the kind of fishing that was done, the local fishermen didn't have the technology. And so, we cannot blame only the Chinese in that matter. I think there were other nationals that were involved, but predominantly the Chinese. And the law was made for banning foreign nationals from taking part in a certain level of fishing, which was supposed to be reserved for locals. You know what they were doing? Kojo Menu will go, or near Papo, will go get a Chinaman to buy the equipment and materials and tools for him. Then he will use his name, his Ghana name, to front for the Chinaman to go and do the same exact thing that the law says don't do. And this became a big problem in the fishing industry. Till date, I'm not sure. I think that the conversation is died now. I don't know whether the problem has been resolved. But there are a lot of fishing vessels that you see out there with, they'll tell you, foreign-owned, Chinese-owned. But the people at the front are actually locals. So you come to think of it and you realize that, no, we are the problem as a people.
That's right.
We are the problem. We always find a way around the law, whether for personal gain, for greed, I don't know. But we are the problem.
Well, as problems, we need to certainly check ourselves. 7:04 as the time reads in the studio. Apology for a lack of Johnny's Bite this morning. There is no Johnny's Bite this morning. Very shortly, in about 10 seconds or so, is our land. We have nowhere else to go. If we don't take care of it, it will not take care of us. Michael, what do you have on the front page of your newspaper?
Well, the Daybreak newspaper says NPP bans internal campaigns. GAF probes 70 armored vehicle purchase upon Pepra, Amwama, and Andor others to testify. And GRA dismisses claims of SML mandate expansion. And then there's Nick Dansoe J receives Lifetime Africa Achievement Prize. This is one interesting one at the corner. Coming up is Amisha Usuama, now working for Zoom Lion. Is Isaac Crentel, former commissioner of the customs, now working for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited.
SML is still around?
Oh, yes, they are. Two more stories. Hold your horses.
The man is running away from the tin.
The overseer. What's the word here?
Credibility.
They've covered the word with a picture. It says the overseer, credibility and fairness. Apology accepted, but go and sin no more. Presidency to Sami Jemfi. And then there's media budget review to strengthen confidence, tackle debt obligations. That's Pim Yanko. He's the deputy finance minister. Ghana pays twice for the same job. Why the SML deal must end. That's according to Benjamin Sia. He is
I'm surprised the SML matter. What happened?
I just want to read the
Okay.
He's the executive director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSE. Now, government to deport 3 foreigners and prosecute 3 others over gold smuggling. And that's basically it for the overseer.
Certainly. The overseer had this story. You said apology accepted, go and sin no more. I read that also on 3news.com. Let's take a very quick listen. I won't play the full clip of just feeling squad show for
Yes. On the SML thing, let me just read this statement to you. This was issued yesterday. It is from the GRA, the comms unit of the GRA. The phone doesn't want me to read it. Okay.
3FM,
it's from the comms unit of the GRA issued yesterday, 14th May. Says clarification on Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited's claims regarding expanded mandate. The Ghana Revenue Authority has noted with concern reports published on 14th May 2025 in online news portals and print media, including Business and Financial Times and Graphic Online, claiming that Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, has unveiled an expansion of its revenue assurance oversight to cover Ghana's upstream petroleum and solid minerals sectors. GRA wishes to clarify that the authority's suspension of SML services in the upstream petroleum and mineral sectors pending further review issued in April 2024 remains in force. GRA has not instructed SML to activate nor resume operations under the 2023 Consolidation of Revenue Assurance Services contract covering those sectors. The authority wishes to assure stakeholders in the aforementioned sectors and the general public of its unwavering commitment to protect the nation's revenue with integrity and transparency, issued by Communications and Public Affairs Department.
Please decode the English for me. Are they working or they are not working?
They are not working. They have been...
The contract has been suspended. It's still
suspended since April 2024, last year. In fact, for a year now, a whole year.
Okay.
So this statement is just to say that the suspension is still in force.
It's still in force. All right, let's go back to this issue so that we can wrap it up nicely with the bow. It's not on our agenda for the day, I don't believe, but this is Felix Kwatio-Fosu, spokesperson at the presidency, talking on the Sami Gyamfi Money Agrada issue. He says no further action is pending. Take a listen.
You would recall that in the immediate aftermath of the emergence of the video, Mr. Sami Gyamfi promptly issued an apology in which he expressed regret over the matter and took on board public concerns raised overseas. A day after that, the Chief of Staff summoned him to the presidency to learn about what transpired. The invitation was honored by Mr. Sami Gyamfi. He indicated to the Chief of Staff what his side of the story is, what explanation there is for what we all saw in the video. At the time, President Mama was out of the country, so he had to be briefed on the discussions held with Mr. Sami Gyamfi by the Chief of Staff, and he has been briefed. Now, the view is that, to begin with, the presidency acknowledges Mr. Sami Gyamfi's immediate act of contrition and the acknowledgement of the need to express regret over that incident. So that apology has been taken on board. You do recall that when President Obama launched the Code of Conduct, he said that one of the remedies for any potential breach was a public apology. He also said one of the potential remedies was a caution from the highest levels of government. After the interaction with the Chief of Staff, the Chief of Staff cautioned him, having acknowledged the apology he made. He cautioned him and impressed upon him to take on board public sentiment.
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Opportunity to reissue the same caution that the president had sent to all appointees to be circumspect in their conduct. There may be things that may be commonplace in our private lives, but once you become a public official, you need to be sensitive to public expectation, and therefore that ought to guide the way that you order your steps. So in view of that,
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
For any potential breach was a public apology. He also said one of the potential remedies was a caution from the highest levels of government. After the interaction with the Chief of Staff, the Chief of Staff cautioned him, having acknowledged the apology he made. He cautioned him and impressed upon him to take on board public sentiment and act in ways that reflect public expectation. The Chief of Staff also took the opportunity to reissue the same caution that the president had sent to all appointees to be circumspect in their conduct. There may be things that may be commonplace in our private lives, but once you become a public official, you need to be sensitive to public expectation, and therefore that ought to guide the way that you order your steps. So in view of that, presidency does not believe that any further action ought to be taken beyond the apology and the caution. And we all take a cue from it and are going to do better in order to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian public. We value feedback. We are aware that Ghanaians expect high standards in the performance of our duties as public officials. We remain committed to meeting those high standards to ensure that
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Been long suffering in the last few years under poor governance. So
Felix Kwachiofosu there says there will be no further action. Can we put this matter to bed? Is this the last that we're going to be hearing of this Samiji Mfiagrada saga, or are you expecting a press conference sometime later this morning?
For me,
and everybody has that.
I'm happy that finally this is over. There are lots of more important things for us to be talking about as a country. However, I must commend the government for the steps taken.
Okay.
At least it sends a signal that we mean business. And some have argued that, well, there is no wrongdoing legally in what Sami JF did. However, calling him to book, querying him on it, tells us that this government means business. And it also takes the Ghanaian public seriously, because the uproar this received on both sides of the aisle was quite fascinating. But knowing that the government will call whoever or whichever official to book, because think about it, beyond the fact that he's a government official, this is a high-ranking person in the party. So this sets an example that no matter who you are, if you flout or if you court public disapproval, there are likely sanctions for your action. And that I am happy about. And I'm sure that going forward, every other government appointee will be careful in their dealings and make sure they don't get caught in any web.
I stand with Michael on this matter, and I think I've already made that statement. You know, from the very beginning of this conversation, I said that I personally do not see what law has been broken. I don't see what part of the code was offended. But it was important that the government showed the interest it did. You know, the fact of summoning him to the presidency over this matter was a show of seriousness on the part of the administration, that they will pay attention to misconduct, whether perceived or real, and that it doesn't matter whether you are a big man in the party and in the administration or you are a small boy, you will be given the same treatment so long as the public expresses discomfort with one act or the other of yours. It is commendable. Now, the levels to which this has degenerated, and I have heard people started calling for legislation of gifting, not receiving, but in the giving. And I think that, yes, we are serious about the fight against corruption, but we have to be very careful that we do not also allow ourselves into the realms of absurdity. When you are making a law, that is one of the things you watch against, or you are interpreting a law, that is one of the things you watch against, that it should not defy common logic.
So that you don't over-legalize an issue where we can all use our common sense.
All use our common sense. Okay. I mean, I have asked the question before. What if Michael is appointed, which office do you want?
You want to set me up on national radio?
I think Michael can go in any sector.
What do you want?
I think
I plead the Fifth Amendment on this one.
Let's see.
So Michael is appointed.
Obviously in the business realm, so we'll give him anything in that sphere.
Okay, Michael is appointed CEO of business development and
Yes.
CEO of business development agency.
He has created an agency. The guy has wild imaginations.
In our part of the world is possible.
So Michael is appointed CEO of this important agency. And Michael says that I'm a very humble man. Where I come from, I've seen things, I've experienced suffering, and I know people are suffering. So going forward, I will not be receiving my salaries. I will be remitting my salaries to the needy in society. Will we say that because we want to fight corruption, Michael should not willingly donate his salaries? Or even what am I going for? The Mahama Care Foundation that the president instructed people who faulted or defaulted in the
asset declaration
issue. He instructed them to allow their salaries to flow into that fund. What do we say about that? Will that be part of gifting? or because it's a punishment, we will say that it is not. But point I'm making is, it is a serious thing to fight corruption, and we all must be able to fight corruption. But we have a certain our socio-cultural, environment should also be taken into account when we are doing these analysis and discussions. Or again, business development, CEO of Business Development Authority, I invite him. I'm a big man in my village, so I'm going to my village and I say, oh, Michael Ogbodu, CEO, let's go to my village. Let's go assess the business opportunities in my village and see what my village can benefit from your administration. Michael comes with me. We pay a courtesy call on Michael. Then Michael says, before he leaves, something no, not even that. Something good for the chief and elders of the community. It's a common practice.
Yes.
So Michael says, the chiefs, I have come to visit you. I'm leaving, but this is a token from my heart. At least we are with you. We are working together. Then Michael leaves something. Will that be offensive to such a legislation that we are discussing or contemplating? So I think that if we are not careful with this discussion, we are going to really harm ourselves and hurt ourselves.
Sixtus, to be fair, I think the uproar in this particular situation was the currency. I don't think it would have been much of a big deal if it was in Ghana.
I agree with you.
Because
I've made that concession as well.
So I think that's what's particularly upsetting people, because right at this point, you can literally see the whole rally of citizens in protecting the currency as we speak.
That's right.
We've seen the trading community come out to say that we are willing to gradually reduce prices. All this is on the back of strengthening the cedi. So to see that someone else is, so to speak, unconsciously contributing to the same problem we are trying to prevent.
Somebody who should know better.
Who should know better,
That's right.
exactly. And of course, because of how delicate where he sits or the current position he occupies is. And you're interested to note that Honorable Adongo, a member of the board of BOG, just yesterday revealed that the Bank of Ghana is looking to implement a policy where you can no longer access foreign currency
At the bank.
At the bank.
Over the counter.
So it tells you that there's a concerted effort to protect the currency. So as a government official, you can't be seen to be towing a line contrary to this. And I think that this also should send a signal that it is time we enforce strict rules with regards to the handling of foreign currency in this country. I've been to places where when you mention dollars, they have no use for it. It's not like here that we may, I'll convert it. They won't collect it. There are some countries, they won't collect it. If you don't change money at the airport before you enter, Massa, you will be stranded. Nobody will collect your dollars. And that is where we need to get to as a people. And I heard Kenya is doing it. You can't just get up and go and change money out of the blue. You go to the streets and all of that. We need to enforce the regulations and ensure, if not, all this that we are doing is going to be a 9-day wonder. And that's why I have some reservation with even the directive by the BOG on this counter thing. We know that majority of the forex trading in this country is done on the black market.
That's right.
So if we really want to nip this in the bud, then we have to clamp down on those activities point blank and rid them off. And you see, the interesting thing is that they are not hard to find, though.
Oh, at all.
They are not hard to find. You want to tell me that BOG doesn't know that there's a black market at Circle? BOG doesn't know that there's a black market right at the airport when you come out?
Yep.
So those are the things that need to be tackled, because that is where the problem is. It's not really the banks, how many people go there
to go and change. And when Sixtus talked about perception, it's not just about the reality. Perception is also very key to think about. So you have a new acting CEO of Gold Board seen in a video. Unfortunately, videoed going into the car retrieving dollars. The optics, for me, I always say, the optics just do not help the cause.
Exactly.
But
the unfortunate thing for him is that here he hasn't even been paid his salary.
and that's even another thing that I had the opposition standing on. That's somebody who we are aware of, or at least have intel has not been paid. You know, that also fuels that perception. So for many people, and like an ordinary citizen, I see that in my mind.
Hasn't been paid means what? He's not getting allowances as well.
Because of their perception.
No, but the other argument
he's not getting
because
was he a broke man before he assumed office?
As an
I'm
opposition,
not even going there because I am in no position to talk about.
But that's what I'm saying is that the
all
opposition
of that.
only merely has to get that perception, has to get that messaging into the psyche of the everyday Ghanaian, and then that perception fuels other conversation. But alas, we have a conclusion to this particular matter for now. Like I said,
is it acceptable to and by all?
Well, like I said, it's only 7:24. From about 10 a.m., I'll be monitoring to see if any presses are being held.
Some comments on the page. Teacher Kujo Tepa Anyina Susu. I definitely knew the dollar cash gift saga would come back from the presidency without any punitive measures against Sami Jemfi. Now, President Mahama has taken over the clearing agent title. Going forward, John Dramani Mahama will be addressed as President Clearinghouse, which is synonymous with the income. I think he's doing too much. So another person says, Kwajo Fiagbe. If not for the standards set by President Mahama, this Sami Jemfi and Agrada issue is not anything.
Okay.
That's valid, actually. Yeah.
And by standard, the president is referring to the code.
The code, exactly.
And I was telling Sixtus yesterday, Ghanaians are coming from a place, I assess it as trauma. And so our antennas are high.
Very alert.
We are alert because there was a time when I saw Ghanaians becoming, in fact, detectives. People, you go into the streets and the ordinary Ghanaian has broken down the scandal. This person, and did you know that because of this contract, our antennas are so high, we will not countenance some of the things that we've seen in the past. So for our new school politicians and political actors, I'm sorry, you've come at a time where we are not in
wrong time.
Wrong time.
We are not in the mood.
We are not in the mood.
And do you notice how
in the mood.
Both sides of the aisle went all full-fledged with the bashing? It wasn't just one side, though. It was both. It just tells you that a friend of mine was making this argument on this issue. Is that gradually Ghanaians are getting to a point where when we say no, we mean no.
Yes.
And you can't change our mind about it. As you gave the example, when this whole towing thing came out, see the way the uproar came from Ghanaians and then we trashed it and it was sidelined. I think that as citizens going forward, clearly we've seen that when we rally together and we say we want this, we get it.
Thank you.
So moving forward, we should begin to hold the political elite to account on a daily basis, because now they know that if they mess with us, there are consequences.
We'll mess with them.
So
and by messing with you, please, we just mean that we'll make our voices louder. We now know that as for the demonstration, this administration said, go where you want to. I have been looking for a reason to demonstrate because I know I'll have the freedom, the personnel. They're more loading. So
we should begin to demand.
Let's take this matter as it is. It was an act of indiscretion.
Yeah.
The man has apologized for it. The presidency has looked into it. It feels that there's been no offense. The apology is sufficient. And I understand he's been cautioned.
Yes,
in HR terms, a caution is a serious matter. It's
on your record.
It's on your record.
Because it's a strike. Next time, there will be no such forgiveness.
So, in fact, that may even correct the statement that teacher Kojo has made. It didn't just come back with nothing. The caution is equally a serious punitive measure in HR terms.
Means one leg at the door.
If your organization keeps cautioning you, check yourself.
And on your person as well, if you are walking around the company, we all know there's a query on your head, it doesn't feel good, does it? It takes some time for the stigma and the stench to also clear from you.
Exactly.
You are walking, everybody knows, shame, HAPPY.
So it's good that what happened has happened because it's allowed us a certain level of the conversation in our fight against corruption. But I'm just saying that let us be careful we don't descend into different realms. It is what it is. Let's look at it. And these things will come per each case with its own facts. You can't pick one case and go and slap it on another one.
All the different nuances.
They matter. Context matters in everything.
Yeah, but Sixtus, once you were making your submissions earlier, something came to mind. The issue of those who hadn't declared their assets. So how far? Because I remember
that at the end of this month.
But the president said by that deadline, if you hadn't considered yourself
31st May.
In fact, because after the sanctions, I think he gave them some 24 hours, or was it not?
He said by close of day, if you haven't.
There are two levels.
Okay.
As of the time the president addressed them, some were already going to forfeit their
salaries.
But there was an additional one by the end of this month.
Okay, actually, I recall, because what Felix Kwachi Ofosu said is not every appointee was sworn in at the same time. So their time starts running differently. So it's not everybody who has that same deadline, because others were sworn in a week before, 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. So your timeline would correspond with when you were sworn in. I think he made that distinction clear. But 29 minutes past the hour of 7, I believe we can take some calls right about now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this morning. Always a pleasure. I'll plug our 2 telephone numbers, and you two can join in on the conversation. We call it Community Voice. As I see our phone lines are already blinking. 0559 242 717 or 0556 910 154. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sister Helen.
Pastor Odewale, good to hear your voice. How are you doing?
Oh, by His grace, I'm fine.
All right, let's hear you, please.
Greetings to your colleagues.
Sure.
And wherever Brother John is.
He'll hear it.
My sister, a quick one. He has apologized. The presidency has also come out, not just giving us any seek and hide mindset of clearing, but he has also been caution. But you know one funny thing out there? It was only yesterday that I got to know when I was in a taxi. The taxi driver told me, oh, you see, they say Sami Gemfi has done double of what Madam Cecilia Dap did. In fact, he gave $8 million. And I said, $8 million? Like, Ghana will be free. So that is not the issue. So you people need to educate us more. But sometimes, these are very politicians who come to your studio, speak A, when they make U-turn, they speak B or C to us, which they are distorting information. But these are 2 quick ones. When you go to North Dine, in fact, they are in power outreach. For the past a month to 2 now, almost every day, light goes off not less than 6 times. Even an uncle just told me that for the past 2 days, they don't have light. And they are not telling them anything. North Dine, that is within the enclaves of Pando area. Then South Dine, their own is water shortage. You know, Brother Johnny has made much talk of it. There will be some cosmetic solutions. Then 2-3 days back to the same level. And the most worst thing in South Dine, which is Peki area, it is hot. Even the health posts are not getting water. Some students now have to do rational of no bathing in the morning, coming back from school to walk miles to fetch for water so that they can use to cook. So in fact, Ghana Water Works and electricity company, please do something to these 2 constituencies, North and South Dine, within the Volta region.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pastor Odewale, always pointing out issues in various communities. I'll get on to my next caller. Hello, good morning.
Prophylatic Helen.
Papa, miss you.
How are you, my dear one?
I'm doing great. We're all fantastic. Good to hear your voice.
Good. Yeah.
I know you have a lot to say this morning. Let's hear you, please.
Oh, not a lot. Not a lot. I mean, the whole thing has been, how shall I put it, a close as country. So, but I just want to say something that is so important to all of us. And those investors, like this China Mall people. You know what happened? I was at China Mall, the Amasama branch 1, yesterday. I bought something there. When I got to the cashier's place, there is China Mall lady, a Chinese lady that is head of that very place, was telling the lady that they said there's an increase in that very particular thing that I'm buying price.
I see.
I said, what? Increase in it? It is gonna come and see me at China Mall there. People were just looking at me. I said, what do you mean? That very price that I saw, I want it to reflect right now. That increase, I will never accept it. You Chinese people, what do you mean? Can't you see that the dollar has just come down? Every time it's keeping coming down. And you want to increase this particular thing, come and see me there, my sister. of Black Helen. You know me already.
Were you able to get it at the original price?
I got it at the original price. And then some people, the onlookers were saying, Charlie, bravo, bravo. I said, you cannot take me. You know me now. You know, Black Helen. So please, I'm telling the authorities, those China more people and then the other people just like them, please, authorities, go to their, what do you call it, their company or whatever it is, to tell them to do the right thing. We want the city to be stronger than any currency. Sure. It is very well. Have a good day,
Have a fantastic morning. Papa Bisu says he fought for his rights. He got the original price, not an inflated price. I'll get on to my next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ellen.
Yes, who's speaking, please?
My name is Ajana from Kwabenya.
How's Kwabenya this morning?
Not bad.
All right, let's hear you, please.
Thank you very much with the wonderful job you are doing for Ghana.
Thank you, too.
Please let me say good morning to our opinion leaders when it comes and the rest, especially some of the old gurus who are still for their appointment. Somebody like Hajia, excuse me. So, Madam, I will do something about me. 2024 election agent, they are still being paid. Once I am also part of them. I want to ask the government that is it not paid EC, and if she's already paid them, what are they waiting for them to pay us? Madam, we are pleading. The Electoral Commission and the government now, whether we like it or not, the government has changed once we have a president, and this president, John Dramani Mahama, he knows what he's doing. So we are pleading that he should do something about it. We are happy that he pardons Sami Jofi, because Sami Jofi is the eye for some of us. To him to go and stay at home without doing nothing, let me salute John Dramani Mahama to pardon him for this one. First time. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, who is on your line?
Ben.
Ben.
How are we doing? I'm all right. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, not bad at all. I'm so happy, you know.
What is making you so happy?
Oh, for my president to taking a good decision.
Okay, you are happy with it.
The one we had before. That will be clearing each and every one.
But there are people who are calling President Mahama. They say he's clearing agent 2.0.
They don't know what they are saying. They just want to, play propaganda with everything. How can someone be generous? Be sanctioned? Does he even know where he is? They don't know what they are saying. You see, Ghanaians are wise enough. You see, they thought what the kind of bad governance they give us, and this will be doing the same thing. But it's far-fetched from that. We are not going to do that because we know that now Ghanaians are really vigilant and eyes are watching everywhere. You can never take Ghanaians for granted.
That's
so,
right.
Mr. President, kudos to you. You really take a very bold decision, and I like that. This morning, I'm giving you what? Thumbs up and stand up for what you did. You know, Helen, let me say good morning to Ajiawa of what GRA, and I'll plead with Mr. President to just remember her and let us do this because he's really supporting the grassroots. Also to Dr. Tony Obin and Follow Who Know Road, Chairman of Greater Accra, NDC. And you see, let me also add my voice to what my brother just said, Ajana one. I don't know what is happening. If you know, over 4 months down, 4 or 5 months down the line, we had elections. And those that work for EC haven't been paid. And I don't get it. If I may ask you, Ellen, didn't the elsewhere administration budgeted for the election?
Indeed.
So why is it that EC is not paying them? Most of our brothers that were involved, when they say, no, the woman hasn't paid us. And it is not anything beyond just 700 Ghana cedis. And someone has to go and risk his or a life to work for the EC. You look at how the past election was very aggressive, both parties.
That's right.
And these people have worked for the Electoral Commission. Can you get their PRO to come and say why they haven't paid the work? It's just allowance. And if you can't give them their 700 penalty, what is your job? I support those who are calling for the head of the commission. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Yeah, but this is one that I'm also now seeing. So on our stream, we've been seeing the comments from 1 or 2 people, but it appears it is more widespread than just a few people from the calls.
It's really sad. Almost 700 Ghana cedis. Some are observers, some are presiding members.
I see.
What is really happening? Please, Madam Yusuf, we are begging with you. We heard what? It was budgeted for. Don't go and invest the money and get the interest. Because that's what we've been hearing. Now, normally, they'll go and invest the money, get the interest before paying the people the allowances. We are begging you, give the allowances to them because they work for Mother Ghana. Have a good morning.
Thank you. Have a good morning as well. This one has come up a few times. The payment of EC, well, not officials, those who were working or working with or for the EC during the elections. Let me get on to my next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Helen. How are you?
Am I speaking with Collins?
Yes, sir.
How are we doing this morning?
By the grace of God Almighty, I'm doing very good. What about you two?
I am fantastic. Let's hear you, please.
Thank God Almighty. As my fellow brother said earlier, that's, let me greet Hajia Hawa at JRE. Very good, fantastic, hard-working woman at JRE. Fantastic. And also to the president and the chief of staff. Very good one. Look, Sammy, as I said, I'll repeat this issue that he didn't do any wrong thing, but what he did that pains me a lot. And the good people of Ghana is giving money to Agrada. Agrada is a Ghanaian. But look, party people first. Because it's the party people who put you there. It's the grassroots people who voted massively, including the good people of Ghana. So Sammy Jeffrey didn't do any bad thing at all. The following day, you heard the MPP doing a press conference. What a shame. Look, President Mahama, you are doing a very good job. Focus on it. I said, the aura, if you didn't do anything, even build one single room for Ghana, and you grab these corrupt people and jail them, Ghanaians will clap for you and extend your term to maybe 8 years or 12 years. Have a good morning.
Have a good morning, Collins. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear sister.
Hajia, is that you?
No. Rose, Queen of the Airways, calling from Ashama.
Let's hear you. How's Ashama this morning?
Oh, by the grace of God, Ashama is fine.
All right.
So let me say good morning to Honorable Ashimu, follow who no road, and Honorable Danamate Mensa. He's elected John Dramani Mahama. You are welcome back. We thank God you are back. Menyaba, that was last week. A teacher did frame me. That was Thursday. And I'll catch Mr. Rose. If me power chopper, Oko radio so, a yama opinion 40 say. A Juma a yama electoral commission after now, Munchia Kai, and I'm at what? A Juma Muye for December after now, Yenchiamo Kai, or say I. And say, me the pastor, some way more reason of it. Your best say, I bind that I'll be an so much to Bonia Diablo, electoral commission, me name the other war or Chon Honum. Uncle ye Juma Mamu for 5 good months. If I said this month, can equate. Munchia or Moka, Dentina Munchia or Moka. Mestre aban fufra waba ono de waba da yo tima abada da de bone o madinti na yapa mo mo yesro mo se o muti omoka
Rose, thank you so much for your call this morning. Also making a case for payment of some persons who worked during the elections. It is some 18 minutes to the top of the hour, 8 a.m. Bill Eshan is in the building. Bill, hello, good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, Helen. Good morning. I'm good, and you?
I'm doing all right. What's your next holiday destination? You are now an official globetrotter.
Oh, really?
Me, really.
I didn't know that.
Where would you like to go to next?
Thinking about
your dream destination.
Oh, Paris.
Oh, you want to go to Paris?
Yeah.
Tu parles français?
Yeah, Paris.
Hey, well, yeah, you have to download one of those apps so that you can translate what they say. But that's neither here nor there. Village One is here. The sports segment is up next.